When it comes to this journey of understanding manifestation, understanding your purpose, understanding creation, and that you are the creator of your universe, realize that when it comes to manifestation, nothing happens in isolation. There's an interconnectedness that exists when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to the things you have created before, many years ago, possibly, and may influence or have some connection or ties to do with what happens now. There can even be an interconnection between you and someone else. You see, because though you are the creator of your universe, you are the master of your universe, you have to acknowledge that in the grand scheme of the entirety of the universe, everyone is their own individual universe themselves. And though you are master and you are completely in control of your universe, there is an influence that exists between other people and their universe as well. So as you exchange and interact with others, you influence their universe as well as they influencing yours. And that can happen on many degrees and levels. And it all depends on what kind of relationship you have and how vulnerable you are in that relationship when it comes to the bonds that you created, the connections, the relationship, the intimacy, all those things that influences each other's universe, because it influences consciousness, it influences your ego, it influences how you think and how you move through life. This is why it's important that as you set out to really awaken to this realization as to who you are, being the God of your universe, that you build relationships with people who can understand, people who can support this way of life. So if you are looking to manifest or materialize a certain thing or lifestyle, it doesn't serve you to connect, exchange, to intertwine your universe with somebody else who just can't fathom that, who can't understand that, who is very pessimistic or is just not aligned with what it is that you are creating, because they can take away from the energy, the intensity, the power by which you are creating by essentially materializing this thing which you have decided to materialize. So you have to take a lot of care as far as how you interact with others, because your relationship with other people essentially can either build you up and support you, or it can take away and make your journey way more difficult and essentially a longer process. So as you go through life and you experience different people, you have to know where to place them in your life. And this isn't about cutting people off and saying that because they aren't aligned with you exactly how you want to live your life and how you wish to live and be, that therefore they should not be a part of your life at all. You have to take responsibility over the fact that you may care about this person. You may really want that person in your life to some degree. You just have to manage what degree of intimacy or what degree of connection you wish to have with that person in order to make sure that the things that you are creating for yourself in your life, the universe that you're creating, is supported entirely. So realize that those connections are very important. The influences of universes between people can be something that is supportive, or it can be something that is detrimental to what it is that you're creating. Now, when you get into the interconnectedness of creation, your creations, realize that the things that you have done in life, though you may think they may have nothing to do with what it is that you're creating now, you have to acknowledge that it can be, in fact, the other way around. Everything that you have done up until this point has everything to do with what it is that you're wanting to create now. You have to understand that it is all connected. Nothing happens in isolation. And throughout your journey, though you weren't awakened, or though you weren't conscious and intentional about your life, you have to acknowledge that deep inside, your consciousness still was aware. It still was awake. It still moved and inspired you and motivated you and pushed you in directions that caused you to get to this very point now. And once you understand that, you realize that all of those things were there for you to go through in order for you to get to this moment, in order for you to be the person that you are today. Because if those things did not happen, then you will in fact not be exactly in the right place and time to take on this information, to receive it, to grow, to expand, to essentially coming to who you are. I'm sure you can think of times in your life where you have gone through something, and when you look back on what you've gone through, you recognize that if you had not have gone through that, it wouldn't have made you a stronger person. It wouldn't have made you somebody who was wiser, with more knowledge and experience. Though that moment, as you were going through that thing, you may have wished that you weren't, right? You may have wondered, why were you going through a particular struggle or situation, not realizing that it is because there is a lesson there. And that is always key to remember. Everything that you go through, though you may not understand why you're going through it, sometimes you may very well understand why you're going through it, but you always have to anchor yourself into the understanding that you are going through it because there is something there that you need to receive. There is a gem, there is a tool, there is some kind of skill set, there is a perspective, there is some knowledge and wisdom in this moment where you are struggling and going through some kind of challenge, where you can extract that from it and gather that and take that with you through the rest of your journey, because that time will pass. All right. That struggle, that situation will pass. But as long as you are grounded in the faith and the understanding that through this interconnectedness of all things and understanding that your journey is about awakening and self-realization, which we all get to at some point, then you realize that you've already won, right? And so when you already acknowledge that, you just have to realize that you just need to go through these steps in order to awaken. And the struggles you're going through now is simply about giving you the things, the insight, the tools to help wake you up. And so take those things in, recognize that the things you have gone through are important for you at this moment. It's not about holding on to the past, because those things are over. The past is done. It can never be repeated. It can never happen again. But as you were going through it in that present moment, there were things that you were able to extract, able to realize. And now those ideas, those concepts, those skills come into handy in the very moment to get you through this moment, to get you through to the next moment and the next moment. So recognize that this journey is that. It is a journey of taking it one step at a time, recognizing that the current step could not have happened without the previous step, because you are moving along this journey. And as you continue to move along this journey, recognize that it is being in the moment of this step that is going to allow you to take the next step. So though we can recognize the importance of the past, we don't hold on to it. And though we recognize that the past has allowed us to be here at this moment, we don't hold on to it. We stay focused and grounded in the very moment that is, because that is going to lay down the foundation for us to actually materialize and manifest what it is that we have decided in the quote unquote future of physical reality, though it is already present in our realities in our minds. Thank you so much, and continue to join me on this journey. Feel free to visit drabundant.com. Peace and abundance always.